Greetings, the Astro 30 here yet again, and welcome back to AEL. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be re-looking back at this Elektor 70/100 power amplifier module that Audio Tony sent me a while ago to build, and I built it in the previous video, which will be linked in the description if you haven't seen it already. However, there was an issue with this amplifier not actually performing correctly, and I'll just insert a piece of video of the oscilloscope screen when I was taking power measurements off of this. And as we can see, the positive going peak has this weird looking hump thing going on. And if we look at the Tina schematic, which I've got here on the screen right now, we can see it looks pretty much the same. The only changes have been around the long tail pair, especially the resistor value here. What the issue was there was too much current going through the long tail pair, which was causing an issue with the voltage amplification stage. So changing the value, increasing it here, and also changing a value of a resistor here, improved the actual output. So if we look at Tina's virtual scope, we can pretty much see that it looks reasonably okay. So if I stop that and export it and then make the image bigger, well, the sine wave looks fine, and that's pushing it close to full power. It's not exactly at full power, but it's pretty close. So what that means is, what I plan to do is I want to change the resistor values on this PCB, and you'll notice I've also got a dedicated output stage connected plus the VBE multiplier to the PCB, instead of just having it hanging off wires in case I'm introducing any, stability issues into the circuit by doing that. And just see if it tests better on the oscilloscope in real life. Tina says it should, but does it? Let's find out. I'm also trying a different experiment with recording audio, and it's going to take me a little bit more in editing to do. But I hope the sound is a lot more clearer and you can hear me properly with less echo. Anyway, let's get to changing out some parts on this and see how it tests. Alright, so I've got the circuit connected to the power supply, and it's got all the parts changed. Just got a couple of the capacitors required across the negative feedback resistor and the VAS that was also changed. To see if that has any issues with stability. Just sitting in the holes, not actually soldered in. So I've got the power supply is limited to 200 mA, so if I just double sanity check my work, seems fine. I'm also measuring with a multimeter on the output in DC, so we turn the supplies on. Good current draw. I'm probably not going to mess with the bias too much. As for the DC offset, it's still around minus 13, 14 odd millivolt there. However, it's designed to run at plus minus 40 volts, not plus minus 30, or in this case plus minus 29. So I'd expect that DC offset to be quite considerably lower at the correct supply rails. But so far it seems to be okay. It's not drawing any unusual amount of current. So where that bias pot is set, where I left it last time, seems about right, so I'm going to leave it alone, because it's slowly climbing up to its operating current as it is, and it was set to around about 45 mA, I believe. What we need to do now is we need to load it into the oscilloscope with a function generator at the input and just see what its output looks like on the screen. I've got to change the current limiting to about 1.2 amps, just so it's got plenty of headroom there to actually swing that far to, well, full power, and we'll just see if we've improved anything. Right, my 8 ohm dummy load is connected across the output with a scope probe across it, so I need to go in and change the current to 1.2 amps thereabouts and give it some power. Hopefully nothing goes up with a bang. No, good. Right, you can look at the oscilloscope screen whilst I increase the gain of the oscillator. And that actually looks a hell of a lot better. And that's at maximum power. I'm not going to do that for too long, it's not really a substantial heatsink. But that waveform does look pretty clean, and it's not doing that hump at the top anymore, and it's asymmetrically clipping. However, I'm noticing that at the bottom rising edge here, it's got a little bit of a notch, but that's at extreme clipping, not when it's backed off. So I'm going to turn the oscillator back down. What I want to find out is this capacitor across the negative feedback resistor actually needed? So I'm going to carefully pull it out of circuit. And this is awkward. You can look at the oscilloscope screen as I increase the amplitude. Yeah, it's looking a little bit jagged on this edge. So it's indicating that it's oscillating, so I'll turn that off. And now I will plug that capacitor back into the holes. It could probably be corrected by increasing the value of the VASC Miller compensation capacitor, because currently it's 22 picofarad, which without this 10 picofarad across the negative feedback resistor here, that value is probably a bit too low. Anyway, you look at the scope, I'll turn it back on. Nothing unusual went blip on the oscilloscope, so there's not really much of a turn on transient. It looks reasonable for the most part. So for what it is, it does actually work. So let's try changing this to a 4 ohm load. Like that. Better make sure that I've got a little bit more current headroom. I just wanted to make sure that this will actually work in 4 ohms. We're going to reach current limit before we get to full power. Kind of annoying. Okay, 1.8 amps. Let's try that again. Yeah, it gets there. Still doing that weird notch thing at the bottom there. But it looks as good as it's going to get. It looks a lot better than it did with the original resistor values. So, and we can see the quiescent current is falling back off to next to where nothing, or where it was set, so the VBE multiplier is doing its job. And that's getting barely warm, so that is actually working okay as a heatsink. So yes, it is actually functioning a lot better than the first iteration. So it may require a little bit more tweaking. Now, in the schematic, which I'll just bring back up on the screen for you to see again just now, we can see that we're using 2SC 5200 and 2SA 1943 as the output devices. Over here I'm actually using tip 35, tip 36C respectively as the output devices. At the end of the day it doesn't really matter, but the 2SC 5200 and the 2SA 1943 have an FT, or frequency transition, of 30 megahertz. I'm not sure offhand without looking them up what the frequency of these transistors are, probably a lot slower. But other than that, well, the amplifier works. So that was all I was really aiming for, was to see if we could address the problem with the weird hump going on the positive going rail when it clips, and we seem to have. So this was just a short little video showing that it's been fixed. And that just goes to prove that the original design doesn't work properly. However, having said that, let me just bring up the original design on the screen. So here's the original schematic using the Darlington output stage transistors and a different way of a VBE multiplier, which is not a good idea. Ignoring the fact that the VI limit has been removed in that, we'll notice that here on the input stage we've got this extra 3K3 resistor coming off of the input side transistor going back to the negative feedback path. on the other side of the long tower pair. And what this is basically doing is bootstrapping this input stage, which may or may not be why we were getting that weird hump with the current values in the original schematic on this board without that bootstrap resistor in there. It may or may not be the reason. I'd actually have to Tina simulate that to be 100% sure. But at the end of the day, reworking what we've got here and changing a few resistor values has made the circuit work a little bit more happier. So anyway, that's going to do it probably for this video, because I only wanted to do a short update on it. It's working now. Idle current with it still loaded is still 39 mA, so that's perfectly fine. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video, and I will catch you next time. I'm the Astro 30, and if you enjoyed this video, please remember to go down below, like, comment and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, this is the Astro 30 saying see ya, thanks for watching, have a great day.